Hello, we are going to discuss about software development cost, the factors that impacts upon the development of your software. So we will start with the general thought here. First of all, when we discuss about general range, see any software can be developed at lower level cost of $2,000 as well, and the cost of the software development can go high up to more than $200,000 too. It completely depends upon what you are expecting your software to do, what features you want to develop in your software, what are your goals with the software. These cost depends upon the other parameters that are outlined in this slide. The first one is the size. So if your size of the software is more than the pages and the screens of the softwares are going to be more, which is going to require more time and effort for the developers to develop, and it is going to be more on the cost. And if the size of the software is smaller, then the cost is going to be lesser. Same as if your software is simple and straightforward, the features are very simple, like a static website or a CMS features where there are only add, edit and deletes of the data, then these features are very simple. Those can be readily available, those can be reusable throughout the project, and the development is faster, the efforts are lesser, the cost then is going to be lesser. But if it requires too complex transactions, it requires too complex search and filters to be applied, it requires image processing, high resolution image processing, then according to its complexity, it is going to require more effort and time, and ultimately it will require more money. The next parameter for software cost that affects the cost is the type of the development that you follow. So for example, if you want your software to be developed for unique requirements of your business, and it is the need of the time that you have to develop it from the scratch, from zero, then the cost is going to be more definitely. But if you're developing an app and it is not that much as custom, you can use the low code platforms and you can develop by using drag and drop features of that low code platforms, then your application can be built faster and cost too lesser. And another type of the development is that for example, you have standard requirements like CRM development, and you can use any standard software for a CRM which is available in the market. Then there are many CRM scripts available in the market that you can purchase from the sources like Code Canyon in very less cost. You can install that for your requirements and do little customizations as per your business needs. The next parameter that affects your software development cost is the team that it needs for developing. So how much level of expertise your team members need, and where your team resides, like if you are using in-house team or you are outsourcing, or if you are in-house, then which location you are working from, that affects the cost of the development. These are just a brief overview. Again, one slide will come where I will explain in detail about these parameters. Next we will see that at which stage of how the entire cost, entire investment should be developed, should be divided for your software. So first understand that there are few stages your software is going to be developed. The first one is requirement analysis, second one is the design, third one is the coding, actual development, fourth one is quality assurance, then deployment, and then support and maintenance. The first step is requirement analysis. In this step, what is going to happen is that your team, your project team is going to ask you many questions. They will try to collect as many information about what software is expected to do. They're going to analyze it, they're going to work upon it, they're going to prepare a roadmap of the project, and they will work out on the estimations based on the list of the features that they have derived from your side. And this part of the software development stage will require at least 10% of your total software development budget. You need to dedicate this, and there is a tip in this stage that you should work with high professional team who can take the requirements from you, who can guide you, because if this step is not done properly, if you have done poorly drafted requirements, then that can result in redoing things, that can result in adding changes on later stages, and that is going to add too much cost, too much frustrations at your end. So the requirement needs to be very qualitative. You can hire a business analyst from your industry who knows ins and outs of your industry and who can help in drafting your requirements, so that it can help you reduce the cost, give you the better requirements list. Also, you should include the stakeholders and end users if possible, because if they give you any feedback and if you can include in your requirements, then you will have quality requirements developed. And if the requirements stage is done very effectively, very productively, then the overall cost you will be save a lot on a long term. After requirement analysis, there will come a next stage, which is the design. And design is going to be the two kinds of design here. There will be one technical design and there will be one another called is a UI design. Actually, design is a visual representation of the requirements you have just drafted theoretically. You have drafted the requirements in the words. Now you have to give a picture, a visible picture, visible image to your requirements. So the technical design is something where technical team is going to design the structure of the database, structure, framework of the code base, foundation of the layers of the software, how these layers are going to be interact with each other. These will be the technical design, and a designer, graphics designer, who will be designing a UI of your project, which will show you how the screens of your softwares are going to look like and how they are going to be interact with each other. In this stage, it is necessary for the technical team to deep dive and check for the possibility if the software can be developed in modular approach. Because a modular approach is something that a software to be divided in smaller modules, so the development team does not need to write the whole software's code all together, and instead they divide the software into modules. Module is a set of features for particular functionality, and The aim for that module is that it become less dependent on other parts of the software, so the development team can work on one module with the high level of focus. It can increase the development, and it can also help in reusability and easy in maintenance, so that it will help you reduce the cost in longer term. And for UI design, if you do not need unique design for your software, then you can also check the opportunities for readily available UI templates to take from. And you will have to consider 15% of your total project budget for this stage. Then there comes the third stage, which is coding, which is development, which is the core of your software development, the heart of your software development. The coding, the programming, it has two types, backend and front end. The backend is the major business logic, and front end is what the user sees it. At front end level, the front end developers have to transform that UI designs, the photos of those designs, into workable user interfaces where user is going to be interact. These may require approximately of 25 to 30% of your total project development budget. And backend is the programming, the coding, and this step is going to require approximately of 35 to 40% of your project development budget. For reducing these, for making these effective, as I mentioned earlier, that if you are developing from scratch, then the cost is going to be more. If you are using low code platforms, then you will have something available from the platform by using just drag and drop. Another thing is that the development team needs to follow certain coding standards so that they can use and reuse the code. And if they also should check for the readily available libraries for certain functions, that can help you add any functionality in less time and less cost. Then the next step comes is the quality assurance. Quality assurance is quite necessary for your project. Without quality assurance, you should not deploy your project to live to your users. This is mandatory requirement for your project. For quality assurance, you will again have to dedicate 15 to 20% of the project development budget. If automated testing is more preferable for reducing the manual efforts, but still manual testing is required. If you involve testing team from the beginning of the project, then these will be very cost effective. In the first sight, it may look like what is the need of adding the quality analyst in the beginning, but when the quality team includes in the project, gets involved in the projects from the beginning, then they can detect the bugs before they have came into the picture. So it is like prevention of the bugs rather than detecting from something built. So this approach will surely reduce the cost of your project development on a long run, and you should try this for your project development. Then it comes once your software is developed, then you will have to deploy it to the hosting services which is needed as per your requirements. If your project is bigger and it needs to be expanded, then you will have to go with cloud hosting service providers, and there are so many various options available in the internet. You will have to find out the relevant discount for relevant services that you will be needing for your software. And also, after it is developed, you will need support and maintenance. And for support and maintenance is meant for being it needs to be done either by the supporting or your development team, and it includes like fixing the bugs when the project is live, adding any smaller tweaks or changes, constantly watching and improving the scalability, performance, security of the software. And one of the thing that if can be done which can reduce the cost is that if there are unnecessary services are being used from the cloud services, then they should be removed, and only those services should be used which are being used by the software. And the cost of this support and maintenance will be yearly, annual, and it will be around 50 to 20% of your total project cost. Now we will move towards the next slide, which where you can see that these are the key factors which are going to affect to the cost of your app. The first parameter is application type, whether it is a mobile or a web or a desktop. Based on the type of the application, the efforts and time is going to be different, and so the cost. Then you need to check which platforms and which platforms your application needs to give the support, where your target audience is. If you are developing a mobile app, then which OS versions you are targeting your user base. Mostly the customers prefer latest OS versions and one or couple of previous versions. That saves the cost and that covers the target audience. Then the number of features and complexity that we talked in the first slide. As many number of features are more in your software, the software is going to be bigger and the cost is going to incur. Same as for the complexity. If this function is very simple, it can be developed faster and cost will be lesser. Effort will be lesser, cost will be lesser. And if the complexity is higher, then effort and time will be more and the cost will be more. Then it comes number of business functions. Number of business functions and number of business processes are very similar factors as to the number of features and complexity. So business function, if you want to include CRM as the business function in your software, and in the CRM, like there is a sales and marketing, and if you want to include email marketing, lead processing, lead handling, and analytics reports and all, then this is going to increase the number of features, number of pages, number of time, number of effort, and the number of money that you will have to pay. Then here also when you develop any software, then beyond functional requirement, you will also have non-functional requirement too, which is like the performance of the software. Performance, you will need high and high. Availability, you will be needing no downtime. Scalability, if you are building a SaaS application, then you will need scalability. If you want to generate money from your software, if you want a subscription system or you are selling something, you will need scalability. If your business is expanding, and security is going to be crucial for all the projects, even if it is a very simple project. So for non-functional requirements, as much quality you expect, it is going to give a burden on your pocket. Then how many number of users are going to use your software, what user roles, how many number of user roles are going to be as the part of the requirement, also adds to the burden of in the cost, in the budget. Any third party API are needed to be integrated for any functionality. So as many third party integrations are needed, the time and effort is going to be needed. If your software needs advanced technology stack like ML or AI, then these advanced technologies doesn't come cheap. They are high costing factors for your software project development. And as many regulatory compliance standards you want to add into your software, that is going to add the cost to your software. And the last one is the UI design. If you need unique design, and that design needs to be very unique and complex, and if you have a special requirement for it, then definitely it is the kind of creative work. It needs too much high level of expertise and too much thinking, too much time, too many samples, back and forth, and effort, and ultimately it is going to increase the cost of your app. But if your requirements are genuine, then the cost is worth. It's not more. And then other factors, as we discussed in the first slide, like team involved. So for example, you have a deadline you have set a deadline, you have set a launch date, and your software needs to be developed in shorter time. Then the development team needs to add more team members, and as much complexity of the software is more expert people will be needed in the team, and according to the role of those team members, there will be the cost to pay out to those team members. So it will affect the pocket definitely for software development. Then we also discussed about approach to development. There are 3 approach based on your requirement: custom, from scratch, if your business requirements are unique and you want to develop from scratch, or if you can use low code platforms like Microsoft Power Systems or Mendix, where they provide a drag and drop facility, and you can have an app ready by using those platforms. You can use these as the base and then do customization, or if your requirement can be satisfied with readily built available solutions available in the market, and you need little customization on top of it, then this way you can save your cost. Apart from that, sourcing model, if there are 3 sourcing model I have mentioned here. One is in-house. See, if you are in America, or if you are in Australia or Europe, and if you are developing the software in-house, then in America the starting payment, the beginning payment is that for annually, for one person, you will have to consider 120,000 minimum starting price for the developer. So as more experience of the developer, you will have to consider more cost. Whereas if you consider outsourcing as the option for your software development team, then there are different regions. India, from the companies like Equine Software, you can hire the developers. That can cost you 30,000, between 25,000 and 35,000, which is less than 1/3 of your in-house development in America. You can also hire the developers from Ukraine and European zone, which is little bit higher in the cost from Eastern countries. Uh, in Eastern countries, India is considered where you can find skillful developers, expert, and medium range cost. So it depends upon you where your time zone, your easiness of communication fits best. I would suggest you to discuss with Equine Softech when you fall into the need of software development, or you are a software development agency and you want a backup team, or you want to expand your team and you want to outsource your project. Then you consider Equine Softech as your business partner. And the third option for the sourcing model is outsourcing your software as the fixed price project. Fixed price project gives you relaxation that your project is on a fixed price. Then you don't have to worry about the price. But that is not the fact, because in today's world you will need to go with the iterative development approach, because day by day technology is expanding, day by day users' minds are changing, day by day the requirements are getting changed, day by day the competitors are coming in the market. So once you have developed this software, and then you will fall in a need of adding more changes and more features onto it, and those changes isn't going to be that much cheaper than that of the dedicated team if you have hired, because the agency that you are going to outsource your project to is going to consider the profit for themselves as well. So if your project is smaller, let's say the timeline, it doesn't need more than 3 months, then it is fine. You should go with the fixed price project, and you are sure that you're not going to add any more features into it, then you should go with fixed price project. But if your project is bigger enough, it's a serious, it's like a SaaS application you want to earn money from, and it is going to need more than 3 months of the timeline, then you should opt for hiring dedicated team, where you can get daily access to your team members, because when you hire dedicated team, then your project will be taken into the priority by the development team you hire. In the fixed price, it doesn't happen. So you will have direct access to your team. You can arrange daily and weekly meetings and leverage the advantages of iterative development at affordable cost. Then here is the next slide in front of you. Here I have just mentioned the sample cost for the sample projects, just for giving you the idea. This is not the standard format of Equine Softech or our company or any other company. This cost is for the projects if you outsource. The CMS website, it can be developed in from $2,000 to $5,000 depend upon the complexity and the size of the requirements. E-commerce website, simple e-commerce website with simple features can be developed in $4,000, but as many features you add, like a chat or any additional feature you add, that is going to add the cost, and it can be more than $10,000 as well. If you want to develop e-commerce marketplace, then the starting price will be $10,000 you will have to consider, and then after as many features you add, it may go beyond $35,000 as well. On-demand web and mobile app, like if you want to develop a taxi booking app or let's say food delivery app, then minimum you will have to have $10,000 in your pocket, and it can reach up to $50,000 as well. If you want to develop custom CRM software, then it can be developed in $5,000. If you use readily built solution, then it can be developed less than in $5,000. and as many customization or as many features you add into your software, the cost of that software can be 50,000 plus. I have added these figures from the experience as well as the research, so this can give you the idea what type of your project is and what kind of the budget you should take for. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Please like, share, and give your valuable comments to our video, and ask any queries you have. We will try our best to reach out to you to address your queries, and you can notice our contact information if you want to develop your software project. Thank you so much. Bye bye.